Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is Kazuri Alameen, and I'm so grateful to be alive this morning. My word of wisdom for this morning is I'm going to preface this by stating that I have been in the mental health business for 45 years. 45 years. I've seen a lot, learned a lot, and still learning today. So what's your point this morning, Mr. Kazuri? When you are dealing with grief is a deep sorrow. Being mindful that we all got a different deep. My deep is different from your deep, and your deep is different from his deep, and her deep, that's fine. But the substance of it is grief is a deep sorrow. Example, caused by death, other issues, but grief is a deep sorrow. And normally when there's grief, you have loss. Grief and loss matter like our sisters and brothers. And when you're dealing and working through grief, ladies and gentlemen, it's a process. Example, when you lose or lost a loved one, you'll never be the same. You'll get through it, but you won't get over it. And that's not a bad statement. That's a reality statement. Because you lost someone that was a part of your existence. And it's a process. So I want to encourage you as you are working through your grief, your deep sorrow. Don't allow anybody to rush you. Don't you rush yourself. Don't allow anybody to grief compare you. Example, well, I know how you feel because I lost my child too. That's totally not okay because we all got a different DNA. So we deal with grief different ways. You can be empathetic and sympathetic with people, yes, but don't allow anybody to make you feel guilty and shame about you. Okay, you should be here by now. You should be there by now. Why are you still holding on to this? Cut those people loose. And the reason I'm stating this morning because I just finished speaking with someone who got re-traumatized. Re-traumatized. He's already working through grief and loss to the best of her ability. And she go listen to the so-called gurus. Let me say this again, the so-called gurus who don't have the experience are podcasters who are about getting followers and entertainment. And a lot of these people are messing people up. That's why I stated I've been doing this for 45 years. I'm not about trying to get followers or be an influencer or get so many number of people to hear me. I'm a lover of humanity. I'm not about all this sophisticated sales and marketing and all this stuff is a bunch of BS. But it really frustrates me when I see people get re-traumatized listening to somebody because they got a microphone or a telephone and they are saying stuff they don't know anything about. Grief is a deep sorrow. So I would encourage you to not let anybody guilt and shame you or rush you through this process. It's very important. Once again, you'll never be the same. But you'll get through it. But then that's life. We ain't supposed to be the same. There's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with you. Take your time. Sometimes when you're dealing with grief and sorrow, one day is tough. 1 hour is tough. 1 minute is tough. You do what you got to do. That's okay. But you're not late. You're not like, wow, why you still holding on to this? You should have been over this by now. That was last year before last. Cut those people loose. And to the best of your ability, get with some people who know what they're talking about. But don't be seduced by all this rubbish out here. And people don't know what the hell they're talking about. And they're hurting people and re-traumatizing people. That's why I stated what I stated. I've been doing this for 45 years. It's a process. I'm not talking about what I read in a book. I'm not talking about what I studied in class. I'm not talking about what I heard another podcaster say. I've been in the trenches for 45 years. Nothing takes the place of life experience. Let me state this again. Nothing takes the place of life experience. Nothing. So value your own experiences. Take your time with this process. It is a process. Grief is something that you never get over, but you get through it. You must get through it at your own pace, not somebody else's pace, at your own pace, whatever that pace may be. Example, sometimes you feel I dealt with it pretty good today, and then 2 hours later, you're not dealing with it so well. That's okay. You got memories of these people or this person or whoever. There's nothing wrong with you. I like to tell my people, wherever you are, be there. Imagine trying to be somewhere else mentally, and you're not there. Wherever you at, be there. The example, the sun don't shine every day, but we still got the weather. So you got to find what works for you, and then you work it. But once again, grief is a process. Loss is a process. Wherever you are, be that with that. And stop letting people manipulate you as well. You should have been over this by now. A grief can pay you. Well, I know how you feel. Hell, they don't know how you feel, because sometimes when you're dealing with grief and loss, you don't know how you feel. So how somebody else going to know how you feel? Sometimes people don't know what to say. You need to be quiet. Nothing takes the place of experience. So I want to validate for you and revalidate for you. Take your time. Grief is a process. You'll never get over it. You get through it. But you get through it at your own pace. Don't rush the process. A deep sorrow. That's totally okay. We all taste it. If we don't, we will. If we haven't, we will. All of us, including myself. It's a process. So I want to once again validate for you to take the time. Take the time, whoever you may be with, it's okay. A deep sorrow, that's grief and loss. It's deep. Don't allow anybody to rush you. And whatever you deal with it to the best of your ability. It's very important. Don't allow anybody to manipulate your feelings as the way you should be about your own grief and loss. That's diabolical. Take your time, please, ma'am. And please, sir. Peace.